We had a chance to catch up with assistant coach on The Ultimate Fighter 10 for Team Rashad, Trevor Wittman. What was the experience like being a coach on The Ultimate Fighter?
It was wonderful. I really enjoyed it because we had a great bunch of guys to train with, and I really enjoyed everybody who was on our team.
And how did the opportunity come about for you?
Rashad had called me and asked me if I wanted to be a coach because I coach Rashad, and he wanted to know if I can come and help the guys out with some striking. And man, I told him I'd love to.
And in terms of working with Rashad, what's he been like? How long have you worked with him, and what's he been like as a student learning the striking game?
Me and him are actually just hooked up at that time. We've worked together in just little spots in his probably last 4 or 5 fights. And then after the Machida fight, he called me up and asked me to be his full-time striking coach. So we were doing stuff on the side at that point, and then he asked me to come out and help him, and I told him I'd love to do that. And now he's out here training with me full-time. He's out here for his full camp out here in Colorado, so it's good.
In terms of just watching yourself on TV, what's it like watching yourself on television, on Spike TV?
To be honest with you, I didn't even watch any of the shows until they asked me to come on and do the show, The Aftermath.
Right.
I wasn't too interested in watching it. I like watching the fighting part of it, but after about the 3rd episode, I started watching the episodes just because they were asking me questions about the show, so I wanted to be on point if we did more Aftermath shows. But
right.
It's a little strange watching me and myself on TV, but I'm glad I'm not in any of the drama parts.
That's right. There was quite a lot of drama on the show. You had Rampage and Rashad. They got into some big battles on the show. How serious were those, and what was it like to watch all that go down?
If you look in the background, I'm not really around in those situations. Anytime they started getting into it, I kind of just stepped away. That's their thing, and the few times that I've seen it, there was probably only one time that was really serious. Outside of that, they were just kind of having fun with each other.
Oh, I see. Did it impact the fighters at all, or not really?
Not really. It was kind of just, every time that they get near the thing, there's probably only 2 or 3 times that there was a bunch of guys around. Outside of that, they were kind of in the hallway doing it their self, with not many guys around.
I guess Rampage took a little heat just for kind of, bullying Daryl Schoonover a little bit, playing around with him a little bit, and just maybe not being the best coach, and, the arguments, I guess, he had with Rashad, too. What were your thoughts on Rampage overall?
Rampage is a great guy. I really like Rampage.
Right.
He's a funny guy. He's entertaining if you know how to take him. I think he's a great guy and a funny guy. I really enjoyed being on the show with Rampage.
Right.
The things that I didn't like was him leaving his fighters in the ring after they were choked out unconscious.
Right.
Just stuff like that. That type of stuff. You take a job and you come out here to be a coach, and he wasn't coaching. There was a couple days that he didn't even show up to train his guys, and to me that's a kick in the face to the guys who came out there and were excited to be on the team.
You coached Daryl Schoonover. He had kind of some problems with Rampage. Did it impact him? Like, did you guys help him out in terms of, that situation?
Yeah, we helped him out to deal with those situations. Rampage was just really having fun with him, calling him titties. And, Daryl took it personal. Daryl stood up in his face a few times. They only showed it on the few episodes I've seen. I only seen 2 instances where Daryl went up to him and then got in his face, but there was actually a lot more times that Daryl was in Rampage's face. And Daryl's a unique guy. He's a very quiet guy,
right?
But he's got a lot underneath the skin, man. He was not afraid of Rampage, and man, he's a tough kid.
Right, he's a pretty tough guy. And Rashad said even I guess the other team was kind of underestimating, and he said he has a bit of that serial killer vibe or something like that. He was just joking around, Rashad was.
Yeah, he's a tough guy, man. Very quiet kid, but a lot of people don't know his background. He's actually 2-0 as a professional boxer.
Right.
He's 12-0 as an amateur, and then 10-0 as a pro. So, I mean, the guy was 24-0 coming into the show. We did a lot of background checks, and, man, that kid's a good fighter. There's a guy, Rex Richards, who was supposed to be on The Ultimate Fighter, but took a fight, and he took a fight against Daryl Schoonover, and Schoonover beat him, and that's how he got on the show. And Rex Richards is a big dude. He's like 300 pounds.
Oh, right. So yeah, definitely he has a lot of experience of various different backgrounds in the fight game. In one of the episodes they showed, I guess, the prank team Rashad pulled on with the chickens and stuff and the painting. Was there a lot of that sort of stuff going on the shows as well?
He was always trying to pull pranks on us, but
Right.
we were having a good time with it. It was fun, man.
Right.
We enjoyed the pranks, the chickens. The chickens was funny, man. We had a great time chasing those things, and I think you might have seen me on the episode diving for the things, man. It was a fun day. I really enjoyed that, and then we actually got some really nice Mustangs. We had Cavaliers, and then they pooped in our Cavaliers, so they gave us Mustangs. So we were glad they pulled the prank on us.
So what was the funnest moment on the show or the funniest moment on the show, if you could point to one? Maybe something they showed, maybe something they didn't show?
Honestly, it was probably had to be the chickens, man.
Right.
That was a funny prank, especially when we're chasing them around, man. We could not get these things, man. We chased them for a couple hours that day. It was funny.
Right, definitely. Now, in one of the coach episodes, I guess your team Rashad, the coaching staff, I guess, had a little talk with a big country. In that episode, they showed him maybe he wasn't taking the coaching too seriously, and you mentioned the way he was talking, he was acting a bit uncoachable at that time. Did his attitude change after you guys had that talk?
Before we had that talk, or before I had kind of gotten his face a little bit, Roy Nelson, he really irritated me. Everything we'd say, he would stop you in your conversation and
Right.
just have something to say about it. And we're just there to help him. And I've heard lots of things about Roy after I got off the show, and that's how he treats everybody in every camp he goes to. But I mean, I did not like Roy at that time, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get along with him. But after we had that conversation with him, man, he made a 100% turnaround. He started listening. I mean, he became a great team partner. And I'll tell you what, I had a pleasure working with Roy. Roy's a great guy, and he learned a lot. He listened after that point, and man, I enjoyed every part about Roy.
Oh, nice. He was able to turn that around. That's good to hear.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who did you feel on your team was the most coachable? Who came in maybe with the best attitude, if you could point to one person?
You know what? I would have to say probably Justin Wren. I mean, the guy listened so well. Yes, sir. I mean, he was just so coachable. Very, very. Very nice, a nice person outside of the fighting, and then showed a lot of fight when he got in there. I mean, I really enjoyed Justin Wren, and now he's out here training with us. So he was a very, very good guy, very humble.
So who are the main fighters that you train these days? I guess you have Rashad, Nate Marquardt, I guess Brendan Schaub's in there as well, and Shane Carwin.
Yeah, I got Shane Carwin, Nathan Marquardt,
right.
Brendan Schaub, Justin Wren,
okay.
D'Amico Rogers, Hollis Gracie, Rashad Evans, Alvin Robinson.
Wow.
That's just to name a few. We can go on a big list. Elliot Marshall, and I hate to if I forget one of my guys.
Okay, so you
we
got
a whole bunch of big guys down here.
Whole bunch of guys down there. Have you noticed an increase now? A lot more people interested to train with you after, I guess, the experience on The Ultimate Fighter coaching?
Not really. I mean, we've had from the show, yes, we got the D'Amico Roger and we got the Justin Wren from the show. But no, I met Hollis Gracie when I was on the show. Hollis came out to help us with Rashad because Rashad did a great job of bringing a whole bunch of coaches in. So the fighters got a different feel from a bunch of different guys. And I met Hollis on the show. So, yeah, when I was on the show, I met him. So I got him from the show, D'Amico and Justin. But all the other guys were pretty much a core group of guys.
Okay, I see. Now, one of your fighters, you mentioned Shane Carwin. He was supposed to have the title shot against Brock Lesnar. Of course, Brock had a serious illness. He has to wait for the title shot. What's Shane Carwin's mindset right now?
It's tough when you have 3 fights fall out because we were scheduled to fight Kane.
Right.
And that was in October. And then when the fight got pulled for a championship fight, which is good, but it continues your camp for a little bit longer. So then we had the Brock Lesnar fight, and that fight fell out and got pushed back to January. And then we got the news that Brock was not going to be fighting because of his intestinal infection or hole that he had in his intestines.
Right.
So, yeah, it was very, very rough on us because we were in such a long training camp. But, they wanted us to fight in February against Kane. Shane Carwin's having a baby in February, so we're not going to take any fights in February because he does not want to miss the birth of his baby.